So on this Workers' Day, one of the most important things we need to do as a society and a country is, I suppose, to create more workers. In other words, we need to create more jobs for people who are currently unemployed, people who really desperately want to be workers in the formal sector. One of the biggest sectors in our society in terms of employment is the retail sector. Many people are employed in that sector, and sometimes you can get a job in that sector without having to have a tertiary qualification, maybe with just a matric or even without a matric. Tom Mkhwanazi is the CEO of the Wholesale and Retail Sector Education and Training Authority, the Seta for that sector. Tom, good afternoon to you and appreciate the time on a public holiday. Are there ways to increase the number of jobs available in the retail sector at the moment?
Good afternoon, Stephen, and thanks for the opportunity and greetings to the viewers at home. Yes, I think there are opportunities, and there are really great opportunities for especially young people to get into the wholesale and retail sector. And we also know that in South Africa, we do have the shortage of skills. We do not have probably a shortage of people that have studied, have gone to university or finished schools. But the main issue is the shortage of skills. So as a wholesale and retail sector education and training authority, it is our role, therefore, to facilitate skills development in this particular center, in this particular sector of the wholesale and retail.
I mean, one of the important things may be that you can get your first job in this sector, you know, that crucial first job that changes your entire life when you're 17, 18, 19. Maybe even without a matric, you don't need a huge qualification to get a job in this sector. After that, can you get qualifications from your Seta, from other groups, and move up?
Yes, there are great opportunities. Obviously, a lot of young people that get into the sector do not have the qualifications for the sector. However, there are a wide range of skills that are needed within the sector. So it's therefore important that we then upskill those people that already have some form of qualification. It could either be, as I indicated, matric or a degree, or they've just left school probably at grade 9 or 10. However, they will need some skills to upskill themselves, because in order for us to grow the sector, we need skills, and the sector has got a myriad of skills that are available for young people, and we would love, as a sector, to see that young people look at wholesale and retail as a career of choice.
I find it difficult to assess how the retail sector is doing. Let me explain what I mean. If you go to a busy shop, maybe a busy supermarket on a Saturday morning, you're still going to find it full. And you're going to find it full whether you go in a big city, whether you go in a sort of Joburg northern suburb, or whether you go to a small town in a rural area, you'll find the supermarkets there full. But we also know that there are shopping centres in many parts of the country that aren't full. In other words, they will be busy on a Saturday, but they actually have empty shops, shops that are vacant. No one is renting those shops. So how's the retail sector actually doing in terms of generating jobs at the moment?
The sector is quite resilient in terms of creating jobs. Remember, the wholesale and retail sector has got various subsectors. So you might find that certain sectors, probably like clothing, furniture, might be not doing very well, but people still need to eat. So there are various sectors that are really doing very well, and there are sectors within the sector that are not doing very well, and it depends on the situation. During COVID-19, we knew that food, health, hardware space was doing very well. We know that during the lockdown, there was a close down on liquor, so that sector didn't do very well. So it depends on the need. So you will find that there will be a lot of people obviously buying food. However, they might not be really buying cars. They might not necessarily be buying petrol as much, because people are working from home. So, but the sector is resilient, and we can see this with the growth that we see with our revenue that we receive as a Seta, because it's based on the number of employees that are employed in the sector. Although the growth obviously shows what is happening in the country. We know that the country is not growing at a level where it's supposed to be growing. However, the sector is growing. So, and the sector is growing is number 3 and 4, depending on the situation between us and the mining sector.
We keep being told that more and more people are shopping online. And you know, when the company Shane first started actually selling things in South Africa, everyone was complaining that it was undercutting our products. Now there's actually a new company called Temu, which is undercutting Shane. And I worry that actually this is going to be quite a big challenge for our retail sector. Often these goods are posted so that, you get them through a courier. You don't actually buy them from a South African shop. And really the only South African who'll have touched it is the courier. Is that going to be a problem, the way that retail is changing? And need I remind you that, again, we're told Amazon will open its South African operation this year. We've been told that before. But we know the online retailers are focusing on Southern Africa at the moment.
There's really always an opportunity with any change that is taking place. So we really do not see that any other products coming from outside will really create a challenge for South Africa. But what we will see is that the retailers that we have are already keeping up. You've got ShopRite, you've got Pick n Pay, you've got Take a Lot. So you've got a lot of South African companies that are working towards adapting to the change that is taking place as people are no longer wanting to go to shops to buy certain things. However, for clothing, for example, people probably still prefer to go out there and buy it for themselves. So what you are going to see is that you're going to see coexistence between brick and mortar and obviously an online buying.
And I suppose for a lot of people as well, the other thing that this comes with is that retail isn't just what you and I see when we go to the supermarket. Behind the scenes, yes, there's a massive operation. There are huge warehouses. Online shopping, Amazon's warehouses in the US are famous.
Yes, and that's exactly the what we are interested in, to show young people that there is a lot of opportunities, and it probably is one of the most dynamic sector in the country in terms of career opportunities for young people. That is not just about what you see in the retail, where people are just buying in a cashier. There's a lot of work that happens in the background in terms of buying, planning, dispatching, distributing, logistics, operations in the retail sector. So there's just a myriad of opportunities for young people, and we would like young people to really look at the sector as a career of choice.
Sometimes, when you talk about the role that you play as a Seta in your sector, and I know in other sectors, not for you that I can see, but in other sectors, there have been huge arguments about the role of the Setas and whether they're actually working. Are you confident that you're able to play the role you're supposed to? Are there any changes to the model you think you could suggest?
I think it is working. We've done a lot of research within the Seta and the tracer studies to see whether the investment that we've made in the Seta space has been successful. And the studies are telling us that yes, there is a great opportunity for young people to get the skills, and the Setas are really playing a huge role. For the past 5 years, Setas have actually looked after over 600,000 young and older people in the sector. Over 600,000 just for the past 4 or 5 years that have really gotten opportunities. And the research is telling us that whenever they get the skills through the Seta programs, they've got high opportunities to start their own employment or get employment.
Thank you very much indeed, Tom Mkhwanazi. I really appreciate the time. CEO of the Wholesale and Retail Sector Education and Training Authority.